obviously. Before we get into this, let's start here
covering
first.
This is your beat. These cases, these defendants. You knew this video was coming. How long is the video?
Thank you, Don Jenny, for the 10 tier 1 gift subs.
Interrogation. What else do we learn in it?
Let's go.
Yeah, the interrogation spans about 3 hours. And what's nice is that we already had this transcript that we could go through that lays out exactly how this all unfolded. And we can sort of reference that as this video has been released. So there have been a bunch of key moments that I've been interested in. One of them very early on, obviously, is this arrest took place about a month after Danny Rodriguez was identified in a Huffington Post story, after he was identified by Online Sleuth. So about a month after our story ran, that's when the FBI went to pick him up. And they actually used that the fact that he had already been identified in a HuffPost story as part of the interrogation. And we're saying essentially that a lot of people were telling the Danny Rodriguez story, you know, anti-fascists and people on Twitter and the Huffington Post were telling the Danny Rodriguez story. So he had to basically combat that. And it was a pretty effective interrogation technique because basically Danny Rodriguez spilled his guts here. And that's really what we see on this video unfolding today. And I think overall, there's this sort of ongoing theme that we see in a lot of these January 6 cases, where there's a lot of this very, you know, machismo, heated rhetoric that we see from a lot of these capital defendants at the beginning. And then on the back end of it, when the consequences come, when they're actually interviewed by the FBI or when they're sentenced by a federal judge, suddenly we see them break down and that veil sort of falls a little bit.
Yeah, they're very different people once they're in custody. We have more of the video now ready in the control room. This is about Danny Rodriguez saying that Trump called us to D.C. Let's listen to this.
How do you get to January 6th? Like, what else happens in that period of time?
Trump called us to DC.
Tell me about that. How did he let you guys know to come to DC?
If he's the commander-in-chief and the leader of our country, and he's calling for help, I thought he was calling for help. I thought we were doing the right thing.
Just 2 months until the sickness overtakes me.
I had no plans of what was going to happen. I didn't know what was going to happen. I'm not a leader of anybody. And I thought what was good intentions of going and
He's like, when I was tasing a fucking cop, I thought it was, you know, I thought I was doing it under, you know, good intentions.
And being a part of and joining whatever. I didn't know what was going to happen. I really didn't.
So this crying guy is the guy who is saying, I had good intentions. He's on video tasing a police officer, tasing Officer Fanone repeatedly.
That's right. And afterwards, he actually went back to an Airbnb in Virginia where he was staying with a bunch of other Trump supporters, and they celebrated. They actually drank beers, a local beer here in D.C., D.C. Brow, that features the Capitol Dome on the front cover. So that's what they did. And they were holding an F. Biden flag and posing for photos. So that's sort of what they snapped into immediately after this brutal attack on Officer Fanone. It really is remarkable just to see him jump through because he thought he was a patriot. He thought he was doing the right thing. He was listening to InfoWars. He was listening to all this garbage news online. And he actually literally believed that the election was stolen, as millions of Trump supporters do. And the problem with that is that some of those Trump supporters who believe ridiculous lies are actually going to do something about it, as Danny Rodriguez did here. And that's where we are today.
Let's listen to.
You remember when that drunk driver, I forget where it was. What was his name? Was it Rayshard Brooks? That drunk driver that fell asleep at the wheel at a fucking, at a fast food joint, was fucking brutally murdered by cops because he took a taser and fired it in the direction of cops and then ran away. At the drive-thru of a fucking Wendy's, they fucking gunned him down in the back. You guys remember that? And how much everybody was like, well, don't do that. Don't fucking steal the taser from the cop or whatever the fuck. Yeah.
Hi.
Yeah, that guy got fucking murdered. This guy, when you're a Trump supporter, you know, you get to fucking regularly, like over and over again, tase cops in the middle of a fucking insurrection, and you're fine. Not saying that the cops should have killed him, by the way. Don't get me wrong. I'm of the mindset that the cops shouldn't have killed Rayshard Brooks either.
More of what he told the FBI, including that after Trump became president, he tried to join the army to serve not the United States of America, but to serve Donald Trump. Let's listen to this.
So Trump became president.
Trump became president.
And you wanted to join the army in response to him becoming president?
I actually did, yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, I actually went to go to the recruiting office. And
this is the FBI's "that's cool" technique.
14 months later.
Where the FBI hog is trying to identify similarities with Danny Rodriguez, the hog from the January 6th insurrection. Oh, that's cool. He might be doing that, partially because he himself is a hog at the FBI, but also because he wants to appear relatable to the suspect.
try to join. And at that time, Trump was still seen as like not a good person. Like, it, well, it was in the very beginning. And I went in there with my I volunteered for Trump. I did door to door and everything. I went there to the recruiting office with my Trump shirt, and I got some weird looks. And I was like, man, you guys are not for Trump here? Like, I don't get it. But they just didn't follow politics.
Ryan, what is the status of the Danny Rodriguez case?
So there's going to be a hearing next week, actually, to determine whether or not basically this entire interview is going to be admissible in court. Danny Rodriguez's federal public defenders have suggested that the Miranda warnings that he gets at the very beginning and the form that he signs advising him of his Miranda rights wasn't significant in this case. So I think that right now, the general theory is that most of this is going to get through based on what we heard from court from Amy Berman Jackson just a few weeks back. But really, it doesn't really matter in terms of Danny Rodriguez's guilt. I think where it could come into play is deciding whether he gets a domestic terrorism sentencing enhancement, because a lot of what he said in there shows the political motivation behind his crime and shows what he was trying to accomplish. It shows that this was, in fact, an act of domestic terrorism. And if that's allowed to be introduced, that could add to a sentencing enhancement once he actually is punished for his crime. He's looking at a lot of time behind bars. Obviously, he almost killed Mike Fanone, but that really could step it up if he gets that domestic terrorism sentencing enhancement.
Interesting that the one black dude at January 6th, you know he's getting a terrorism charge. I mean, look, there's two factors at play here, okay? When you are when you're surrounded by white suppy boys, okay? When you're surrounded by the white suppies as a fucking, Latino dude, you're going to act out. You are going to act out in the most aggressive ways possible because you want to fit in. And that's precisely what's going on here. That's why, that it's part of the reason why that might have been a motivating, fucking reason. You got to prove yourself. Yes, Azan's helicopter pilot is correct. You got to prove yourself. Like, I'm with it. I'm with the cause, bro. Come on. Latin Ekis, brother. Yeah. Views went up by 100. Chat is pre-watching. So without further ado, let's get to it. Here is Danny Rodriguez, who tased the cop, getting interrogated by the FBI.
you had any close contact with anyone?
They're doing the COVID questions.
So just so you know, my name is Enrique Armenta. I'm a special agent with the FBI. Okay.
My name's Agent Elias, also special agent.
You seem to have a pretty good idea while we're here, right? If you need some tissue or something, just let me know. Okay, we can grab you.
The immediate response from the FBI special interrogator is to try to get Danny Rodriguez, the suspect, more comfortable.
Nutri crime, let's go.
Nope, no sense of crying. I can't be crying what I did. I don't know what's wrong with me.
So what I wanted to do is kind of just explain what's happening. And then I want to give you an opportunity to kind of help us understand, what happened from your perspective. Okay. I want to give you that opportunity. That's why we're here. I wanted to take you away from this morning and that kind of hectic chaos and just give you a moment, take a breath. All right. I feel like you kind of want to talk about it. I feel like you kind of want to get it off your chest.
I'm so weak, I'm crying.
It's okay, man. It's okay.
Here you have a common technique used by white conservative women on a regular basis called white women tears. Usually, when the perpetrator applies white women tears, it's very effective against law enforcement. But Danny Rodriguez, albeit a conservative, is not a white woman.
Oh my God. I shouldn't be crying. I'm a grown man and I knew what I was doing. Whatever happens to me is gonna have to happen to me because
Look, Enrique and I interview a lot of people. We talk to a lot of people who have been in the same situation you've been in. There's no shame in crying. There's no shame in you having a tough time with processing it. It's
They're doing.
understandable.
They're literally just like trying to,
You're
say
in
that
an
they
important
sympathize with them.
position right
Now, showing sympathy in gruesome acts of crime may be difficult. This is not a gruesome act of crime, regardless. But of course, maybe these guys are sympathetic to him.
I mean, you've said it yourself. The last couple of months have been really hard, right? It's been difficult.
yeah.
This is an opportunity here for you to let us know and help us understand, because right now we don't frankly understand exactly what happened from your perspective, and I think that there's an opportunity here for us to get clarity on what went down and what you see happen. But
If I do that, I don't think it's gonna reduce my sentence or something.
well, let us read you some paperwork here, and then we can talk about how you might be able to help yourself out of your situation. Okay?
I'm gonna read this to you. Just
Let me get those keys one more time.
yeah. Let me know if you understand everything, and then if you have any questions. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you in court. You have the right to talk to a lawyer for advice before we ask you any questions. You have the right to have a lawyer with you during questioning. If you cannot afford a lawyer, one will be appointed for you before any questioning if you wish. If you decide to answer questions now without a lawyer present, you have the right to stop answering at any time. Okay? Do you understand those rights? Okay. You sign right here, and you can read them to
Happy
yourself
to
as
be
well.
here for Arjan Haas.
And just acknowledge that you understand them.
I want to talk to you guys, and in the past, lawyers have always told me, you don't say
At Hussein Abbey, have you heard of this very serious political smear job in
Well,
Turkey?
by signing
/
this,
S only
you're
the
just
first 10
acknowledging
minutes
that
of the
you
video.
read your rights and that you're willing to talk to us at this time. Just because you signed it doesn't mean any of these rights go away. These rights are always with you throughout the entire process that you're in the legal system, okay? Does that make sense?
Just an all-around
And
fantastic.
you have the right, if I ask a question or something makes you uncomfortable, just to let me know.
Just let us know.
Okay? But just like my colleague was saying here, you know, our goal today is just kind of to get an understanding of what happened, right? Because DC kind of has their version of what happened and kind of how they see things, and now it's your opportunity to let us know, you know, what really happened. Because I got to be honest with you, like they gave
Why
me this
wouldn't he
case,
get a
right?
lawyer? I would
And
have been asked for one.
they were like, this guy assaulted a police officer, you know, so I was like, okay, you know, let me look into this, see what we got here, what's going on, just so, you know, prepared, you know, for the interview and everything. And I started like finding these videos on YouTube of these guys posting Armin Rez, We Are LA, Weber's Way. Are you familiar with those? You know, those guys, those YouTube videos of all the protests and rallies in LA, right? And I was like, oh, what's going on here? And I was like, oh, dang, there's Danny. You know, there's DJ.
Where'd you see me?
I think there was one in Huntington Beach. There was another one in Hollywood.
No, but you saw me in an interview or just in the background?
In an interview, and then at the protests, right? They were at Back to Blue rallies, and they were, you know, at these rallies that were like for conservative values, you know, American conservative values. They were like, you know, and at that point. And at that point, man, like I was thinking to myself, because I thought I had an understanding of what was going on, right? They said, oh, this guy's, you know, assaulted a police officer. But then I saw you, there was, I think it was Hollywood, there were police there standing, right? They were just maintaining the peace, you know, and there was this Antifa guy dressed in all black, you know, and he was just agitating him and just kind of like as if he wanted them to do something.
Yeah.
Right? Like
yeah.
he was instigating.
He's making them look bad so that the cops can do something,
Right.
and then give you all film, and the cops are abusing you.
7
now,
months of being
Exactly,
agitatively
exactly.
propagandized people.
And then I see you like intervening. And you were like, hey dude, chill out. Like we're here we're you know,
So the reason why they're doing this is because they want to fucking. I mean, he's obviously already like recognized his mistake, you know? Okay. So the reason why they're showing this is to say, like, oh yeah, like you're a good guy. You were a good guy. What happened?
we're protesting, like you need to calm down. It's not
Hey,
about
you were against those fucking bad Antifa guys, you know? Like, even though you were against those bad Antifa guys, like, you're a good guy, right? Like,
that. It's not about, you know, that violence and that anger, because he was riled up. He was super riled up, and you were pretty calm for the situation, you know, and the officer was calm. He didn't do anything. I was kind of surprised at his restraint, you know, but just kind of seeing that.
I'm not even sure what video you're talking about. Was it with the wheelchair guy?
It wasn't that. I don't know if it was that same day.
what the fuck? There was a he was like stopping a wheelchair guy.
You know the wheelchair guy?
Yeah,
Okay.
I do. I saw that one. Yeah.
So the police they made a line in the intersection, and he goes with his wheelchair, and he grows up to them, and he has a camera, and he just starts like sticking it like this, like in the cop's face.
Uh-huh.
And that's when I first started going to the rallies. I was still pretty new at that
99.
time. I didn't know anybody, and I grabbed his wheelchair and I pulled him back like 6 or 8 feet.
Uh-huh.
And the cops saw me. I did it right in front of them. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? You know?
Yeah.
And ever since then, they've, you know, because like, how we met that guy in the wheelchair was he was coming across the intersection before the police started.
Come on, bro. He was defending the cops, bro. He's defending the cops' honor, bro. It's the right thing to do, bro. What the fuck, bro? You don't understand.
He was coming over in the intersection and on the crosswalk, and he was acting like a victim, like you know, like, hey, are you okay? You need help? And like, and then like he had a bunch of attitude and didn't like us, and like there were some other people around it that were just like, oh fuck him, or oh he's, you know, and like. So like he was not with us, he was there like against us, and then like we're like
an agitator.
yeah and then I don't know what happened after. This was a while back, this was a long time ago, and then like whatever happened, then like it started getting more intense and the cops came and did their like line. I think there was only like 8 BLM guys that day. And or Antifa guys or whatever.
Bro, it's kind of wild that like you can be. I mean, I guess that they are effective at dismantling his armor, but it's also kind of wild the entitlement that you see here, where like it still goes back to like he doesn't have a sense of unease when he is quite literally talking to 2 people that are having this conversation with him exclusively so they can, you know, get enough evidence. So they can fucking launch a prison sentence, like deny him of his freedom, right? Because ultimately that's what this is. But because he is so, like, because Hogs just can't comprehend that, like, he is fully comfortable with revealing all of these fucking details and just like snitching on himself and all this sort of thing, like all this sort of stuff is, it's just like, yeah, BLM, you know, BLM guys, those are the bad guys, they were there, blah, 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 like all this shit. It's like, brother, you are literally, do you know what's going on? Like, you're being interrogated by cops, okay? The FBI, they're cops. And they're currently interrogating you because you did a crime where you, at an insurrection, tased the fucking another cop. So, you know, thank God for the I was going to say white entitlement, but yeah, I mean, thank God for that, because that is what's guiding him. That's the main motivator here that is like allowing the cops to fucking quite literally gain all this information.
And they came because I guess a week or 2 before that there was a big fight. And I wasn't there. I didn't go to the rallies yet. There was a fight. There was something called like the Unity Bridge, and there was like this guy named Ricky Rebel, like some gay guy, and he was all singing like MAGA, like it was all like a celebration and festival, and I guess like a big fight broke out. So I didn't know about that fight, but I found out from Armin Rez videos that they're rallying there in Beverly Hills. So I'm like, oh, I see this, let me go down there. So that was the first time I went down there, and they had come back, these 8 guys or whatever, and you know, they're all angry, and they're like in like helmets and like goggles, and we're just in regular clothes, and I'm like, hey, what's going on with you guys? And they're all angry, and I started trying to talk to them and like find some common ground, and then that wheelchair guy came, and he like wanted to link up with them, like they're like 6 or 7, 8 black guys, and like you know, he's all like, hey, what's up? I seen him, you know, he's wheels like, hey, what's up, guys? Fuck these guys. The cool guys are here. Like that's what he told them, I think. He's like, oh, the cool guys are here. Yeah, fuck these guys. I don't know. So I told him, I'm like, why don't you suck his dick? And like, you know, I know you guys have seen those videos. They've all been sent to me. I'm like, you know, you're like, oh, you're right there by his dick. Suck it. Pull your mask down. Suck it. So after that, like, that guy just...
Bro, he's literally flexing. He's like, yo, like, look at how I own the guy in the wheelchair, dude. You're right there. Suck his dick. Yeah. The only reason why you would like start the conversation like this when you're currently under investigation and interrogation is happening is if you truly in your heart believe that these guys agree with you. And to be honest, they might. Okay.
Went after me and hated me, and so that's how that happened. So
he's like going through his highlight reel, dude. Come on, you know, we fucking, yo, it's so sick. Yeah. The cops were so effective at like finding common ground with him that he is now trying to find common ground with the cops.
He was aligned with Antifa, BLM, and then they started like, okay, this is this guy with the glasses. Take his pictures. You know, he's
No, this is not a Flexican, okay?
no good. So that's how I got on their radar.
Oh, I got it. So then,
We all got on their radar somehow or some way. What they would do is they would come to the rallies and they would take pictures of us and just consistently getting intel on us, following you to your car or trying to dox you on social media, your license plate, where you work, your name, your address, whatever. You know, a lot of people I know, you know, they've had that happen to them and have people come to their house. And one guy got jumped, and some guy named Lewis, he was former Antifa, and then he like saw what was going on, like this is not what I want to be a part of, and he came to the Trump side, and they jumped.
Dude, there are so many deranged motherfuckers in American politics, dude. I don't know what else to say. Okay? It's just like, yeah, bro, he was former Antifa and he like came to the Trump side. It's like, what the fuck is happening, dude? Yeah, he's like, I was Antifa and then I was like, I'm a fall now.
Jumped him. They really messed him up. He's all scarred. He's got still scars to this day. And
Yeah, Danny, I think what my partner was about to say.
sorry, I went
Yeah,
on.
no, it's
all right.
Here. Why don't you finish?
He's literally like, listen, buddy. We don't have that much time. Okay? We got time, but not that much. It's clear that you want to fucking tell us everything about your backstory and everything about your background, but like, let's get to the real shit, okay?
Finish it,
Yeah.
that thought, because that was a good thought you had.
no, and I appreciate the story because
Yeah.
just like what you're saying,
It's
it gives
important.
context
Yeah.
to those things that, because yeah, you're right.
You saw the wheelchair.
I saw the wheelchair, but it was only a snippet of it, right? It was only but we don't have the whole story, right? That's
So, wait, why are people saying left ear? Should I hit this on mono? Is it annoying on your left ear? There's a whining noise. Yeah, I mean, that's always going to happen. There's going to be a buzzing there for sure cuz, you know. Here, I'll hit the mono on it. Maybe that'll fucking, I mean, it might not actually offset it, but desktop audio, mono.
that's a big thing with the media and everything. You take little things and so what I'm trying to say is that
my best friend, he had a brother that was in a wheelchair and took so much advantage of it, and I like kind of just like, if you're in a wheelchair, okay, like you said, like if you're respectful, polite, or but this guy was like victimizing himself, like I'm of it. So I was like, oh, you're not gonna do that with me. I'm gonna treat you like normal.
So the reason why they're bringing up the story is to say, like, look, context is everything. Context is key. Give us the context to the situation in January 6th. See, we saw videos of you at another fucking rally where you're harassing a guy in a wheelchair. And it looks like you're harassing a guy in a wheelchair. But tell us what your fucking context was for harassing a guy in a wheelchair, which is precisely what he's doing here, explaining the situation where he ultimately still ended up harassing a guy in a wheelchair. But the context is, well, the guy in the wheelchair was Antifa. And that's why it's actually okay, because he was Antifa and he was harassing cops by filming them, which is precisely why it's okay that I harassed the guy in a wheelchair. Now, he's thinking that that's a fine thing to fucking say. Maybe the FBI guys also think that's a fine thing for him to say. But the main purpose of the FBI guys agreeing with him here, other than their own personal convictions about the matter, is that they're buttering him up so he can give all the context in the January 6th footage.
Have leftist microphones?
Yeah.
But he didn't like that, so that's why they came after him, I guess.
And that's what I'm saying is when I started watching these videos of you and getting the whole picture of actually who Danny is, you know, I saw that there's like two sides to you. You know, there was this side that kind of DC had, you know, portrayed and showed, you know, that this is your guy, this is what he did. But then I started looking in, like I said, and I saw this Danny who stood in between this angry guy and a law enforcement officer, just in a t-shirt and his red hat. You know, he wasn't the one with a gun and a baton and handcuffs. You didn't have anything, and you stood in between to protect this trained law enforcement officer, right?
Yeah.
And
I can't deal with this, dude. I know they're building rapport, but I literally cannot. It's like hurting my soul seeing them butter him up with butter lettuce. Like, I know what they're doing. I know what they're doing. I see what they're doing. I recognize what they're doing. But even then, it still kind of feels very real. You know what I mean? Now, usually we
Thanks for the
watch
hot
cops do this with like fucking brutal murderers, and it feels way worse because this guy's crime is not all that bad. Let's be fucking real. Yeah, he was duped into, you know, storming the Capitol alongside thousands of others at the behest of Donald Trump and the Republican media apparatus. And he ended up tasing a fucking cop and shit. It's not the same as like murdering your whole family. But even then, it's like the cop is pulling a Channel 5 with Andrew Callaghan here. But he's doing it in a way where it
Today's my
still feels
birthday.
like it's real to me. You know what I mean?
and even to say something, because like what person nowadays would even say something, right? So many people just ignore, look the other way when they see, you know, like these wrongdoings, right?
Yeah.
Man, you're
But
so good.
you actually had the guts to say something to that guy and to put yourself, you know, in that position, in that uncomfortable position.
He's literally
Did you
like,
see the
dude,
video?
you're so brave. Like, what guy would put themselves there? I don't know, man. A fucking psychotic hog.
They all came, like 200 of them, and I stood in the street.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You saw that?
Mm-hmm. And so I think that's kind of what I'm trying to like understand
I don't know what happened either.
is I want to know that Danny though. I want to know that Danny that, you know, that kind of intervened in that situation, and I want to know how that Danny got to January 6th.
Your story is an important story.
I just think that.
Okay, I don't. So the question here that's I'm sure on everyone's minds is he crying because he feels upset that he fucking tased the cop, or is he crying because he realizes he's fucked? I think it's a little bit of column A, column B, but mostly column B. I think he's crying because he's fucked. Okay, that's what it is.
I don't want to seem crazy or like a conspiracy theorist because you guys are. It's gonna come out and I'm gonna get locked up because like I believe this and it's gonna
Listen.
put me in jail.
Well, look, we've done this for a long time. We've talked to, like I told you, we talked to a lot of people, and a lot of people are worried about being judged when they talk to law enforcement. That we're gonna have an opinion, and I'm telling you right now, we don't hold judgment over you. We want.
Right,
we
it's
want
gonna be
to
the
hear what-
jury and the judge, and
No,
it's gonna be a
no, but
DC
like
judge.
even as a fellow human being, right? That's what we're telling you. Is we're looking at you today as a fellow human, as a fellow citizen of this country, as somebody who has lived here and put in investment into this country of your work and you grew up here and look.
I don't have any loyalty to any other country. It's just America. This is all I
What
know,
the
this is
fuck?
all I want, and I don't care about any other part of the world except for our team.
So how
Bro, it's kind of wild to consider that like they're so good at dismantling him because like it's hog on hog. Hogs are very good at understanding the mind of a hog and using it like to their benefit. Like, this dude has no fucking interest in like lying to them. This dude has no interest in like even feeling defensive. They keep saying he's a patriot, and he's like, yeah, I am. They keep like instigating and being like, yeah, BLM, you know, you defended those cops against those dirty BLM protesters, that especially that one in the wheelchair, you know? Yeah, it's great. It's great to see.
The Danny that stood
Bokway, thank you for the 5 gifted subs.
on the line in between law enforcement and Antifa BLM. How did you get to that point? What happened in your life? Like, how did you start going to these rallies?
He was in the chat here at the Hassan Abu broadcast, and I ran an ad break at the top of the hour, and I told him, you know, you're going to see those ads if you don't subscribe. And that's what led him down the pipeline of radicalization, okay? Because I banned him and he couldn't subscribe for $5 or for free with a Twitch Prime. If he had a Twitch Prime, all he could have done is just fucking click that Twitch Prime button and subscribe for free to no longer see the ads at the top of the hour, you know? Dude, I don't know how the fuck I'm stringing these together. I'm going to be honest with you. These are kind of, yeah. Thank you, Bokway, for allowing 5 people to no longer see the ads either, by the way. I saw that. Anyway, you can also subscribe for $5 too. I'm just trying to make sure you're not radicalized, boys. Here's the 1 minute ad break now. There's a Donald Trump and Nigel Farage interview on GB News, by the way.
Infowars.
And just
Infowars? So like Alex Jones stuff? Yeah, okay. Yeah, he's been around a long time. I know lots of people listen to Alex Jones. Alex Jones has some good information.
What the fuck? Dad, come on, dude! Dude, by the way, okay, you know what this reminds me of? The FBI guy saying, oh, I know lots of people who listens to Alex Jones. And actually, he's been around for a long time. I just got to say something here, okay? Thank you, Centrist Normie, for the 5 the subs. He's not wrong. When the FBI guy is saying that, is he saying that simply to be like, oh, yeah, you know, to build rapport? Or is he saying that because he knows other FBI guys that watch Alex Jones? Because if you fucking recall, in the beginning of the Trump administration, when the FBI was like, oh, yeah, we need to look into, like, you know, white supremacist terror. It's like a big problem in the DOJ, blah, blah, blah. The fucking dude that they arrested was immediately a black identity extremist. Do you guys remember the black identity extremist situation?
Coggers.
I just want to... This is why you come here and watch this shit with me, by the way. Okay? Here is Rakim Balagan, who was arrested, okay, when armed agents in tactical gear stormed his apartment, okay, in Dallas. He was handcuffed and shaking the cold wind. He thought there must have been a misunderstanding that led to the FBI to his door. Balagan spoke to The Guardian this week in his first interview. Balagan, who lost his home and more while incarcerated, is believed to be the first person targeted and prosecuted under a secretive U.S. surveillance effort to track so-called black identity extremists in a leaked August 2017 report from the FBI's Domestic Terrorism Analysis Unit. Officials claimed that there had been a resurgence in ideologically motivated violent criminal activity stemming from African Americans and perceptions of police brutality. Do you guys remember the story? Now, this is old school FBI shit. This is why I say FBI is a white supremacist institution.
Months, let's go.
Okay, they used to do this all the fucking time. This is how they assassinated the leadership of the Black Panther Party. This is what they've always done. But like, you don't expect this to happen in fucking 2017, you know, or it's not supposed to happen in 2017, but it still does. Now, you would have known about the story, of course, if you watched me way back then, because this is something that I covered regularly at the Young Turks. Not a big deal, but, you know, I've kind of been on the right side of history and have been an advocate against these sorts of things and have been covering this sort of stuff since before you were taking a shit in your fucking diapers, or since before you were a part of the alt-right, maybe even on 4chan or whatever the fuck. But hey, I'm a grifter, by the way, you know. I'm the grifter. Anyway, that's a totally separate story. But where did the FBI get this information about black identity extremism, you might ask?
Back for the first time after spending over a week with my family.
Where did they find out about the black identity extremism suspects, or that as a fucking a group that they needed to focus on? Investigators began monitoring Balogun, whose legal name is Christopher Daniels, after he participated in an Austin, Texas rally in March 2015, protesting against law enforcement. Special Agent Aaron Keeley testified in court. The FBI, Keeley said, learned of the protest from a video on InfoWars. The reference to InfoWars stunned Balogun. They're using a conspiracy theorist videos of reason to justify their tyranny. That's a big insult. Freedom of speech, by the way. So when that guy goes, yeah, I know a lot of people that know, I know some homies that know FBI, or I know some homies that are a fan of Alex Jones. You like Alex Jones? I love Alex Jones. There it is. There it is.
InfoWars.
And just
InfoWars? So like Alex Jones stuff? Yeah, okay. Yeah, he's been around a long time. I know lots of people.
A friend once said Hassan looks like he's crusty, and I can't not think of it whenever I see you stream. I look crusty. I shower every day, dumbass. How the fuck are you going to say I look crusty? I'm an incredibly clean person, especially because I used to be very fat when I was younger. So hygiene is something I care about more than anything else. Hair is not washed? No, my hair is washed. Anyway, let's keep going.
Listen to Alex Jones. Alex Jones has some good information. He's got,
You know, I just
out there information.
I just wanted to. I tried to join the army when Trump became president, and I was already 35.
Yeah.
And I have like a bad, history of getting arrested with tickets and stuff. Right? You saw my record. So they didn't take me.
Okay.
And I just thought that.
I mean, this is everything, dude. This is like, this hits every fucking high note. InfoWars Andy tried to join the military but couldn't, so now he's a military LARPer, defends cops against, scary people, scary BLM protesters with fucking in wheelchairs and shit. He's got it all, dude. This story's got it all.
I could.
At a certain point, though, I do have to admit, I mean, he is a victim, okay? Despite the fact that he's 38 years old and clearly demonstrates the mental fortitude of a fucking 15-year-old, okay? He is still a victim because, unfortunately, in America, we have a lot of fucking idiots, dude. Oh, I forgot to mention that. Yeah, Danny Rodriguez is like, he's old, bro. He's not 19 years old. You can't tell from that photo, but that's what he looks like.
Don't know why I'm still.
And he sounds like he's a little kid, right? That's because he has a little kid brain. That's what happens when you're a fucking brain-dead Trump supporter. That's him. He's not 19, dude. He's like 38 or something. Is he 38 or 35? I don't know. He's above 30 and closer to his 40s than 30s.
Contribute by I didn't take an oath, but I could still stand up for those same things on my own. I don't gotta get a paycheck. I could still be a
yeah, dude. I'll just LARP as a military member, dude. By fucking storming the Capitol.
Things and
I wanted
Hey
to go to the
Zoom,
rallies
keep helping us
to
chatters in removing brain rot from the masses less than 3.
make and there's too much enemy out there, and I wanted to bring them over to our side. When I say our side, I still feel like I'm on your side. Like we're on the same side, even though you're
Told you. He can't get it out of his fucking brain that like law enforcement has joint interest with a hog. He's like, this is hog on hog.
I rarely get to ever watch you live, but you
Like
are
you said,
definitely worth the
Patriot
sub.
side,
Gotta
right?
skip
Like
those
you're-
ads.
I don't.
Oh god, they're
I
fucking
was so
hammering
fast. I was a
him.
good guy, and then instantly I became a bad guy.
Well, tell me about that, Danny, because you said Infowars and
15
I
months.
just
Love
saw
you crazy
that
that it's been this long.
there's people that have taken over this country from inside. Globalists and unelected officials, elitists, people who are obsessed with power and control.
It's just so funny seeing a dude who's like 39 years old now or 38 when he stormed the fucking Capitol cry as he talks about like the globalist elites. I'm sorry, but like get a fucking grip, jackass. You are at the age where like people could have fucking grandchildren at this point, motherfucker. But also, this is why it like teeters along the line of ableism. When you shit on conservatives, technically you might be doing an ableism, okay? It's just he literally has the smoothest of brains because he's fucking conservative.
And a lot of the if you go to LA, you see homeless people, and then you see a Ferrari or Rolls Royce drive by them.
This is also another perfect fucking take, what I reference all the time, and that is that Americans are a sea of contradictions, okay? American politics understanders routinely engage in political rhetoric that is inherently contradictory to one another, okay? He's like, wow, look at the wealth disparity, the income inequality. Well, part of that is because Republicans and other reactionaries, okay, political operatives on the Republican side know exactly how to fucking redirect that anger that people feel when they see that gross level of wealth inequality. That is a genuine fucking anger creating situation for someone like this, okay? They use that anger, they show them that inequality, and then they flip it back to like Jews are responsible. They flip it back to like immigrants are responsible. They flip it back to like the global pedophile elites backed by Jews that are responsible. You know what I mean? Like they're so good at channeling that fucking real anger in a group of individuals that are ready to be organized and engage in revolutionary actions and fucking turn them into lumpen proles.
I think this is awful that it's so lopsided, and I just like the system. Something's wrong, and the politicians are. You go to Garcetti's house. His house is 2 blocks. Gavin Newsom.
Bro, what about Trump's house, you fucking dingus? What the fuck? That's the craziest part. Is like, yeah, I fucking hate Gavin Newsom for being rich, but also Trump, he deserves it. You know?
Pelosi's nephew, his winery is not being shut down. His Plump Jack, whatever. They're all making money. They're all not being affected. And they almost.
That, by the way, once again, is effective agitprop because conservatives never, ever, ever stop running for office throughout the 4 years. They don't stop. They're running 24/7 every single day. They're doing agitprop. Okay? Every single fucking day. They're creating new opportunities for you to fucking redirect your anger at the societal elites, of course, on the Democratic Party side. Now, that is true, by the way. It is true that like Nancy Pelosi, Dianne Feinstein, Gavin Newsom, these are all gross individuals who have also accumulated a profound amount of wealth. A profound amount of wealth that they generated from being in office. Nancy Pelosi is not the greatest investor in Congress, or Nancy Pelosi's husband, rather.
Today.
But for some reason, he's outperforming everybody else. It's so weird. It's so strange. You know, no insider trading, of course. Right? But also, you know, Trump does the exact same shit.
Daddy Arjan.
Trump is a recipient of the exact same corrupt system. And that's precisely what he advanced. Okay? The issue is Democrats don't do this kind of agitprop. They don't do it. They don't constantly fucking hammer on like the oil barons that are responsible for the think tanks. You want to know why? Because Democratic billionaires aren't fucking often funding the liberal think tanks, but Republican billionaires are. That's the difference. Republican billionaires give to the Democratic Party and the Republican Party. They are operating at the behest of the same exact fucking group of individuals. Republicans do a good job of, at the very least, being like, yeah, it's only fucking George Soros. It's only the Democratic billionaires. Those are the guys who are bad. Don't look to our billionaires, by the way, please. But the Democratic Party doesn't do that. They really don't. They don't fucking shit on the elite. Why don't they shit on the elite regularly? How is the Democratic Party going to even try to create the presence that they themselves are in support of the working class?
Brag about it.
Thank you for being my gateway drug to socialism.
Well, there's still like homeless camps all over LA, and I was actually in LA not too long ago, and it seems like every time I go back there, there's more and more homeless. And just like you said, there's like a Ferrari or a mansion 2 blocks away, and there's just people struggling. And there's other people, like regular folks, like you, who are like, you know, buying a house, helping your mom buy a house in Fontana, you know, and it's, even that's hard, right? Like,
yeah, no, that's true. We lost the house. That cheap house out way in the middle.
Happy to be here, happy Hossie.
mm-hmm.
I just couldn't even do that.
It's ridiculous that the housing prices here now.
But I just thought that you know, they lied all about Trump, saying that he's a bad guy, he's a racist and a horrible president and all this. So no matter what they did to defeat him, it was justified. Mm-hmm. Cheat, lie, steal, whatever. Trump is orange man bad and all that, right? So we saw that Joe Biden doesn't have a lot of support. He didn't rally. He didn't have people going to his rallies. And
motherfucker, what are you doing? Trump literally gave the largest tax cuts to those very same wealthy elites that you're talking about and fucking despise. Largest tax cuts to the wealthy since Ronald Reagan, you dumb bitch. That's his only significant legislative accomplishment in his fucking administration. Why are the Republicans so fucking stupid, dude? God damn it, it makes me so fucking angry. It is so stupid. It is so incredibly fucking idiotic to maintain this position in your mind that, like, you know, these corporate elites are fucking awful, which they are, and then simultaneously be like, but, you know, Donald Trump was fighting against the corporate elites. It's literally all because Republicans regularly and effectively engage in red herrings to reshift your focus away to just the Democratic corporate elites like Facebook and Twitter CEOs and social media. You know, we're fighting against big tech. We're fighting against we're defending freedom of speech. It's like, yeah, what's going on? Are you fighting against the corporate elites at the billionaire baron, oil baron class? Like, are you doing that? Yes, but Kamala bought expensive kitchenware, so same difference, right? I mean, Kamala Harris fucking sucks too. Don't get me wrong. I fucking despise Kamala Harris. But that talking point, yeah, that was a funny one. Kamala Harris bought $300 kitchenware. That was a big fucking take from the RNC. And people got mad at that, dude. I mean, fuck Kamala Harris for a multitude of reasons, but like what? Buying a fucking crock pot for $300? Like, that's what people were fucking mad at her for. It's just insane, man. It's insane that like the corporate elites that they despise are bad for the exact same reasons the fucking Republicans are bad, and the Republican Party is bad for defending them. Same with the Democratic Party in certain ways as well. Don't get me wrong.
PogChamp.
Storming the Capitol for a real estate magnate, then complaining about housing prices. Yeah. Incredible. Brilliant. That's crazy. $300 crock pot. I can't believe Kamala Harris did that. Like, why are you getting mad at that, you fucking idiot? You're just angry for no reason then. That was a big story too, which was fucking nuts. It was a big fucking story. Meanwhile, that dude flew from Los Angeles to fucking DC to participate in the insurrection. How much was that plane ticket, you fucking jackass? How much was the round trip ticket? Bet your ass it was fucking more than $300. At the very least, it was $300, okay?
Yet he
Oh, the chatter from yesterday said she said yes, and we are going out this weekend. Congratulations, what's up 360? Yesterday he said that he was gonna ask this girl out. I'm proud of you. Anyway, congratulations, chatter. We like to have fun here, Good job. Everybody, don't let your dreams become memes. If you have a girl out there that you want to ask out, you should definitely do it, okay? Remember, chatter, wash your balls? Yes, definitely wash your fucking balls, brother. Yeet, yeet. What the fuck? How do you remember I forgore until now? Dude, I know everything and anything about my chatters, okay? I know so much about this fucking community, despite the fact that I have 33,000 people in here.
It was a landslide victory for him, and it just, it doesn't take, you don't have to be that bright to see that it was something wasn't right, and it was.
Yeah, no, definitely. Landslide victory for Trump. You don't have to be the brightest bulb to see that, huh?
Gave me inspiration. Pray for me, British.
So when did you started going to the rallies? Like when?
I think in August.
And is that the same time when you started following InfoWars, or was it InfoWars was before that?
No, I've been following InfoWars for 2008, 2009. Maybe.
Oh, okay, so a long time, right? Yeah, because.
But he's the one who, Alex Jones and InfoWars were the ones who kind of put it out there, that there's other news that's not on the TV that they don't want you to show. There's a half hour of news, and they got to put weather and sports in there. They don't tell you what happened in the day, or they don't tell you a lot of things. So I was just trying to seek information, is what it was. I was trying to find the truth and answers, and when I thought I found the truth and answers, I thought it was up to me to, I don't know. It's like when you, like, there's a saying, like, to know better is to know better is to do better, Mm-hmm. So it's like, okay, I know what's going on, and I have friends that aren't going to the rallies, they like Trump, but they're not involved. I have, my mom, she supports Trump, but she's not getting anybody on his side, she's not arguing about him. I'm like, well, I can do this, I can go talk to people and try to bring them, like, educate them, and because they really are, they're killing Trump supporters. They're shooting them in the head and beating them up, and in school and the public, everything, right? Mm-hmm. So it's like, I kept thinking that we're gonna go to like a civil war, and it's gonna go hot, and it's all gonna,
I love the system. I can now.
I don't know. I didn't know. We didn't. Nobody knew. So we just thought that it was gonna. We were preparing for. We're trying to save the country. We thought we were saving the country. I thought I was helping to save the country.
So you started going to the rallies in August of 2020, is that right?
Yes, sir.
And those were all the Trump rallies in like Huntington Beach, like Enrique was saying, or?
I would go regularly to the Beverly Hills rallies. Okay. And I went to some Huntington Beach rallies, and then I would do some like Garcetti's house, or wherever don't know. It was whatever. Somebody made a flyer, and then we would go out and get a flyer, and then we'd go.
What
would
motive?
you?
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Who would you usually go with?
I would just go by myself, really.
Is that how you got into it? Just you
I think
just saw a
everybody-
flyer.
I think everybody. Well, I saw it on Armin Res.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was like on Facebook,
Okay.
and then I just by accident got like a recommendation.
Mm-hmm.
I had been to that park years ago when Trump came to town in 2016, and in that park in Beverly Hills called Beverly Gardens, it was a Trump protest. There was 1,000 anti-Trump people there,
Mm-hmm.
and I showed up. There was like 4, 5, 6 of us that were for Trump. So that park wasn't new to me. I actually went there and I argued with 200-300 people there for 8.5 hours, 9 hours without water or food, and I just annihilated every single one of them. I just beat everyone. 200-300 people arguing against Trump, and they didn't have anything. And I thought that was like one of my greatest days in my life, and I thought it was something that I needed to be doing.
Mm-hmm.
I had a lot of answers and information, and I was, because like I said, I really thought that it was gonna be like, a lot of us thought that it was gonna be like a civil war, like there was gonna be straight on like the original Civil War, almost, like brothers and sisters and fathers, and everyone's fighting each other, right? So, in my mind, I felt that the more people before it gets to that point, the more people I can educate or bring over, or just make them neutral, or see that, I'm a Trump supporter and they're lying about us, and talk to me or something. I was just trying to make it
15-month sub baby
better
still can't
if I-
make
in
sandwich.
any way I could.
Aborting soon.
One person at a time, and that's why I would go to the rallies, and I would try to find the most angry person, or the most the biggest troublemaker, or whoever, from the whatever, and I would try to talk to them, or find some common ground. And that's essentially what I was just trying to do, is just trying to.
It's wild to see the journey from hog to omega hog, and how fucking similar it is for so many people, how replicable this experience is, and also how dangerous it is that, like, people that could have been in this circumstance. Like, I know people that are, twice removed from me, but, like, are literally, they attended the fucking
10
insurrection,
months, have a good day, chat
It's
house.
nuts. Just fucking nuts.
Essentially campaign. I was just campaigning at rallies and on my own, and really that's how everybody just showed up at those rallies by themselves, and we all just started talking to each other every now and then.
You had that one thing to bring you together, and
Yeah.
When did you become convinced that there was going to be a civil war?
Well, it was always looming in the back of our minds, because I mean, it almost happened with Hillary and Trump, because we felt Hillary. See, the Trump movement happened then with Hillary in 2015, 2016, and everything. So we all thought that there was gonna be civil war then. We all didn't trust Obama. We're learning about like Jade Helm and the FEMA camps. Why are they ordering all these body bags, and what's all this military movement, and these plastic coffins, and like there's just hundreds of thousands, So it started like triggering reactions in my mind that, like, this country is. I mean, that's how Rome fell. Rome fell from within, right?
Sure.
I mean, it was. So it's like now the people in America it's being infiltrated, and they're taking it down from within.
So Trump became president.
And
you wanted to join the army in response to him becoming president?
I actually did, yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, I actually went to go to the recruiting office and try to join. And at that time, Trump was still seen as like not a good person. Like it
Right.
it was in the very beginning. And I went in there with my I volunteered for Trump. I did door to door and everything. I went there to the recruiting office with my Trump shirt, and I got some weird looks. And I was like, man, you guys are not for Trump here? Like, I don't get it. But they just didn't follow politics.
Yeah.
And
I mean, that's super noble that you feel so compelled to volunteer for the army because that you're motivated because the president was elected.
Kind of inspired you, right?
Yeah. So, what's the question?
So I guess what I was going to ask you is, you at some point you thought there'd be a civil war. Did that become more real to you in 2020?
Well, when they said that Joe Biden won the election, and I saw a lot of video footage of them like stealing, like
The
pulling
suitcases underneath the table and all that?
Yeah, and there was postal workers giving testimony about, this, my supervisor told me this, and this is not normal, and all these ballots and this and that. So we knew that our system was not. There's no point in voting anymore. That it's over. That what made this country great, and you vote and you elect your president. We can't even do that anymore. Like they saw that. I think my beliefs are that an overwhelming number of people came out to vote for Trump, and he actually did win that election, the popular vote and the electoral vote, and I think.
Yeah, totally, dude. Yeah. Yeah, that's what happened.
That he was just so popular, and he's not going to lose his re-election because the economy is so strong. Then they brought up,
Bro, this motherfucker literally, the economy is so strong in the middle of the COVID pandemic, okay? Which of course was a plandemic in his mind. But like, this dude has been a fucking day one. Like, this dude has been a day one psycho. Because he just thinks like, he believed everything. It's so fucking easy to dupe motherfuckers like this because they're just. Is that takeout? No, it's
3 months,
well,
but been
some
the YouTube
takeout.
lady for about a year.
I got like a tahini salad and shit like that, some garlic, and another salad, so that I can, eat alongside my my chicken that I'm cooking right now. Yeah, he did his own research, brother. He knows what's good. He knows what's up.
the virus, and it's like I think the virus was meant more to kill the economy than to kill people. It was really hurting his reputation, because he has a ego.
This motherfucker cares more about Trump's reputation. Cares more about Trump's reputation and how that was hurt by the virus than the 800,000 Americans that fucking died, bro. Insanity, dude.
And a big reputation for being a businessman and all that, and then
insane.
They want to blame him for. Anyways, they made sure that the election was lost, and there's no point in voting anymore. So it's like, I'm thinking they're gonna come around they're gonna come around us up.
Mm-hmm. The Trump supporters.
Yeah, we always felt that the Trump supporters were to get rounded up, even when it was Hillary.
Sure.
I mean, I'm thinking right now, like, that's kind of a scary thought, right? To, like, feel like you're going to be rounded up for what you believe.
It's reality.
Yeah, that's scary, right? What would you guys do to kind of prepare for that, or like, because if it was me, I wouldn't just let that happen, right?
What do you mean?
Like, if you feel like you're going to be rounded up for what you believe, what did you do to kind of defend yourself?
Well, there's not much I could have done. I mean, I'm not financially stable that I couldn't be home.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really have anywhere to go. So you're saying, like, I could have been homeless and been living in a tent or something, you guys wouldn't have found me.
Well, did you bond together with any of the other Trump supporters to try to figure out, like, how you're going to make a game plan, or?
I was afraid of everybody No, I didn't talk. I really didn't want to tell anybody anything about what happened.
Because when I think about like defending yourself, because I know you were.
Did I plan with somebody else to do something? No. Did we make plans? Did we organize? And no. It was all by like.
Well, I'm asking about because you were attacked, right, at a protest. Antifa folks that attacked you. Was it like in Beverly Hills or something like that?
I mean, what do you mean attacked?
Like they fought you, assaulted.
No.
Is that never happened?
I don't think so.
Did that happen to people you know?
I think you're talking about something else. What are you talking about?
Well, I'm just asking because I know there have been clashes with Antifa and some conservatives at protests. That, just kind of like the example I gave earlier, and some of them have been violent. Like Antifa has been violent. Like, would you not agree?
Yeah, but I'm not gonna incriminate anyone that I know that's on my side.
I'm not asking you to incriminate anyone. I'm just saying, have you seen Antifa be violent at protests? You have, right? So I'm just concerned, like, if I see that, then I'm gonna prepare myself for that situation.
No, I didn't. Did I buy any body armor or anything? No. Helmets or no, because I felt my words. I felt that. This might sound weird to you guys, but I would pray to God to give me the words and the wisdom and to direct me to the right path and to protect me and to help to give me the words to help other people and to open their eyes. And I felt like I didn't need to be. I never. Every single time I faced Antifa or BLM, I never once had any feeling ever of like fighting them or being aggressive or angry or stabbing someone or anything like that. I saw them as just confused or brainwashed or manipulated or stupid or something that I just needed to talk to them and try to get to them. Mm-hmm. And it was never physical.
They never tried to assault you or to hurt you?
They did. They tried to antagonize me and, like slap me or try to steal my hat or something like that, or push me or threaten me or posture up to me or whatever, but I'm not
How'd that make you feel? Like, because
it made me feel like I was doing something good. It made me feel like I was doing the right thing. For the bad people to be against me, I felt that was great.
Okay.
I felt
that makes sense.
When the enemy is after you and they don't like you, you're doing something right.
Right.
Danny, I got to tell you that your story's kind of similar to actually with the exception of you, where you're at presently today. I have some friends who felt very similar to you. They felt like the 2020 election was stolen. They felt like Trump had won and won righteously, and that it was just a matter of time before that would be found out. Of
course, dude. Of course he does, okay? And I don't think he's fucking faking that, okay? I don't think he's lying there, brother. I think he does have some fucking friends that are... Bro. Dude, this interview is so incredible because, like, first of all, I can see QAnon motherfuckers straight up being like, there you go. They keep talking about Antifa. Like, they're baiting him so hard with the Antifa shit. They're like, come on, right? Antifa, right? That's what caused you to fucking organize, right? Where are all your friends, right? Come on, tell me more about your organization, right? But also at the same time, I do believe that this motherfucker definitely has some homies that are like that. I mean, a lot of people know someone like that.
The government that took over post-Trump would round people up.
Yeah, that's
and in response to that,
talking about QAnon and all that.
Yeah, some of that's Q stuff for sure. And in response to that, people did a lot of things. They went out and they made preparations for their family. They had bug out bags. They did all sorts of stuff. Was there any of that kind of stuff that went on for you? Like, did you make any preparations thinking like the government's going to come round me up? I need to get a bug out bag, or I need to, buy extra food and store it up because we might be hunkered down here at home for a while.
If I was financially better well off, I probably would have.
Yeah, it just didn't happen.
I just don't have the means.
I see.
This dude wanted to.
So
He
you
just
go
couldn't.
to the rallies in August.
All my extra money was going to gas money to get to a rally.
Yeah.
Top of the hour.
So you go to the rallies from August through the election, right? And then the election occurs, and it looks like Biden wins, and the election looks stolen. Fill us in the gap now. That's like mid-November of 2020. How do you get to January 6th? Like, what else happens in that period of time?
Trump called us to DC.
Tell me about that. How did he let you guys know to come to DC?
If he's the commander-in-chief and the leader of our country, and he's calling for help, I thought he was calling for help. I thought we were doing the right thing. I thought we were just, I had no plans of what was going to happen. I didn't know what was going to happen. I'm not a leader of anybody. And,
38 years old.
I thought what was good intentions of going and being involved and being a part of enjoying.
38 years old.
Whatever. I didn't know what was going to happen. I really didn't. I've never seen talk. I felt it was the last time that it was going to be that I could see the president talk. He doesn't come to California and do speeches. I've never seen him in person speak, so I wanted to go see him speak. He called for his supporters. And if I'm his supporter that's rallying for him every weekend, and I volunteered for his campaign, and I'm out there arguing, I'm on social media, I'm wearing his gear,
Sure.
and I was like, I need to be.
He's like, come on, bro. I'm arguing people on the internet for you, bro. What the fuck? Oh, no. Come on, bro. Broy. Or Nori. Daddy Trump needed my help. I'm his strongest digital soldier.
Either. And when his speech was over, I went to the metal detectors because they took my megaphone away. I had to leave.
I would bet $1,000 that this motherfucker's been banned from this chat, by the way. You know this homie has been in the chat. You know he's been in the chat and been banned already. He said he fights for Trump online. You know he's been in the fucking chat. And he's a California Republican. Yeah, God gives his strongest soldiers the toughest battles, brother. Keep up. Keep your head up. Keep your head up, King. Keep the fucking debates going, you know? I mean, maybe in federal prison it might be a little bit harder, but who knows? You know, you might find some like-minded individuals in there.
Leave it there, and so I went back and I went to go to the area where everybody was dropping their stuff off in the grass, and I grabbed my megaphone, I found it, and I heard some girl telling another girl, oh, my mom just sent me this on Facebook. It says that they're storming buildings in DC, and that's what she was telling her friend that I overheard. And I was like, huh? So the whole crowd was marching to the Capitol.
Still waiting on the brain rot.
I just followed the crowd, and then when we got there, it looked like there was a ton of people already going. Like there was like already like a green fence that was torn down, because I remember like walking past some fence that was. There was clearly a lot. I was clearly not in the beginning. There was a lot of people that were there already, and they were trying to get in. And I didn't. There's no leaders. There's no playbook. There's no
guidance. It's just you don't know what's going on. You just you just look around and you got people over here singing a song or doing an interview, waving their flags, and then you go up to the Capitol building and they're getting sprayed in their eyes, and just it's totally like chaos and havoc and all this stuff, and then like so it's like a whole mixture of everybody. And it's like if you wanted to get in the building, you were over there with those people. If you wanted to do an interview, you were over here with these people.
I'm kind of curious, Danny, just how did you get to DC to begin with? Like, did you
This is called the just curious technique.
fly? Did you drive? Did you take a bus or a train? Or
I'd rather not say, because I don't. If you guys don't know, I don't want to get anyone in trouble.
Okay, well then go back to explaining your position. And you followed the people past the green fence. And
Yeah, I just.
Where did you end up? Did you end up in the interview side, or did
Pure projection once again, by the way. You know how fucking conservatives say, like, you know, crisis actors, crisis actors, crisis actors? They flew these motherfuckers in, bro. They bust them in.
you end up in the people going into the Capitol side?
I ended up going up the scaffolding, to the top.
Where the flag was draped?
Mm,
There was a big flag, a very tall scaffolding for like where the media was going to have cameras set up. That one, or did you go up to the facade, the face of the building?
It's the part where, you know, where they do the inauguration, that like the little
Yep.
balcony.
Mhm.
To the left of that, there was a big scaffolding
Okay.
in the middle.
Mhm.
It stuck out.
Yep.
I just went up that,
And then what?
and that's how I got to the top. And we just kind of hung out there for a while.
Wait,
and
what the fuck? At approximately 4 p.m. on or about January 6th, in the Patriots 45 group chat, this guy said, OMG, I did so much fucking shit right now and got away and tased the
Latest moment.
fuck out of the blue. Oh no! Officer Daddy! Officer Daddy! Fuck you, dude. Guess what? Caught in
soaked it
4K,
in,
baby.
Looked around and seen what was going on.
And then what happened? At some point, you got to the Capitol steps.
Yeah, I went up to the Capitol steps and I was there for a little while. Left. And then I came back again. Just walked around and just kind of saw what was going on.
And you think that's why you're here today? Is because you climbed the scaffolding?
No, you guys kind of told me that I assaulted an officer.
Here's how he got there. In his interview with the FBI, January 6th defendant Daniel Rodriguez says they opted for a van ride from California to D.C. If anybody needs to take anything like weed, knife, pepper spray, that stuff's not going to be able to get on the plane. I don't fly because I have issues with flying, but there was like an idea that if anybody needed to take anything like weed, maybe knife, pepper spray, the stuff that's not going to be able to get on the plane. Wow.
you want to talk about that?
Because I tell you what, everybody else is going to talk about that.
Yeah, I'm pretty ashamed.
I mean, like Enrique said, there's a story that's being written about Danny Rodriguez, and right now DC has told that story to a judge, and the court of public opinion has a story from the Huffington Post, has a story from Water Spider on Twitter.
They're literally positioning themselves as anti-Antifa, anti-Huffington Post. It's so perfect. Dude, duping these guys is so easy, man.
From Antifa and BLM. They're telling the Danny Rodriguez story.
You guys have probably seen more videos than me. I don't know all these videos.
Chad Loader, Desert Border,
Chad Loader!
all these guys.
Oh! Oh, what the fuck? The FBI knows who fucking Chad Loader is. Oh, God. That's very sussy, bro. I forget that there's like motherfuckers that work in the Department of Homeland Security and in the FBI within like the state apparatus that are just, you know, our age and literally. Chad Loader is like a fucking Instagram anarchist, dude. Or not an Instagram. He's a Twitter anarchist. That's really, at first I got excited. You know, oh, they know like all the fucking Twitter anarchists and shit. But then I realized like, wait a minute. That's probably not good that the FBI knows exactly who the fucking Twitter anarchists are. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Chad Loader is a dude who like fucking is Antifa on Twitter. You think FBI are in chat? I mean, yes, I know for a fact from other friends who have relatives and whatnot that I do have fans. I don't know how or why in the DHS or have worked for certain agencies, which is always strange to me because like, what are you just like closing your ears every time I routinely shit on the entire organization that you work for? Or maybe they don't watch everything and they just see like some of the YouTube videos. But yes, there are definitely people. There are fucking people in here. Probably there's 32,000 people, 33,000 people. There are definitely people in here from one of the government agencies for sure. Not like spying or anything like that. I mean, literally. Just a fan. Which is always strange and surprising. I mean, dude, listen. You guys know how I fucking feel about the FBI and the CIA. Maybe it's the one fucking dude who like catches pedophiles or something. I don't know. Maybe that's the guy who's watching.
They're all telling the Danny Rodriguez story.
I haven't seen any of those.
But here's your opportunity to tell us your story.
My story is just that we thought that we were
As mullets.
gonna save America. And we were wrong.
At some point, you ended up on that the Capitol steps with the taser in your hand. And somehow, you felt what you were doing was the right thing to do. Somehow you were maybe misled. Maybe that call that the Commander-in-Chief gave was that strong call that tugged on your heart and said, now's the time to protect your country, to be a true patriot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you got up there with a lot of gusto and a lot of desire to be a true patriot, but the problem that we have right now is we only get one side of the story.
Nice.
And my words aren't going to be the story that writes Danny Rodriguez's story. And you had asked earlier about...
I mean, I'm going to keep it $150 here. If I was in the situation, I would 100% blame Trump and give them everything they want to hear, by the way. I'd be like, yeah, Trump radicalized me. It was crazy when he radicalized the shit out of me, dude. It was wild. Fuck. I am not even the man here. I was not in control of my actions. I was radicalized by Alex Jones and Donald Trump. I do think this dude is genuine when he's saying all that shit because he's too fucking stupid. Like, he is demonstrably a fucking idiot. You know what I mean? So I do think he is genuine when he says that. But also, in a similar situation, I would say
What's today's dumpster fire?
pretty much all of the exact same things. I would say straight up those exact same things. I'd be like, yeah, Alex Jones, all the bad guys. Fox News radicalized me. Brain rot download complete.
Keep it 55th
10 months,
Street or you
baby.
will cluster.
You've made it. You made it, Chatter. You made it through the first 9 months. Yeah, you can tell a grifter from a true believer, though. Yes, you are correct. And this guy is a true believer.